in the know, nonstop Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Oh, boy. Vikings Vent Line is live here on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. Phil Mackey, Judd Zulgad, our executive producer, Declan Goff, and all of you guys. We will turn the show over here shortly to you guys, the Vikings fans, because this is the most fan-friendly, interactive show in Minnesota sports. Vikings Vent Line presented by Surly Brewing Company. A quick shout-out if you are watching on a TCL TV. I saw a lot of people supporting Purple Daily and Vikings Vent Line by buying TCL TVs on Black Friday, so thank you guys. But TCL is one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs, delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. We will pull your comments into the show. We will pull you guys into the show. If you want to join, email us, vikingsventline@gmail.com. And, Judd, we'll start with you. What was your main takeaway from this loss in San Francisco today?
It's an incredibly disappointing loss because it was a game that was right there, and it was a tough game, but it's the exact type of game that good teams win. And before we start to blame the officials, let me say this: God helps those who help themselves, and the Vikings did not help themselves one bit today. We knew that the defense was going to be suspect with the entire starting defensive line out, so it was not surprising that they could not stop the run. But this was a game in which your offense, and I guess in particular your quarterback, had to be outstanding all day long, and you had to have a ability to strike back with touchdowns, not with field goals, but with touchdowns, and you had to do it consistently, and you were going to have to overcome a lot of difficult obstacles. And the Vikings in the end had that chance. I mean, they definitely did. They got the ball back. The missed field goal by Gould gave them a perfect chance, and they couldn't do it. So this was the exact type of game that really can define your team. And like, if you have truly turned a corner, this was the game. And Kirk Cousins didn't play well enough. The Vikings probably weren't well coached enough. And so I don't want to hear the excuses. This felt like the Vikings were down by 2 touchdowns, and they weren't. They had a chance. They did not come through, and that is disappointing because if you really had turned a corner, I think this is the type of game that you win.
A sequence happened today in the fourth quarter that I think was a microcosm for the last 4 years of Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins. So let's back up for a second here. Kirk Cousins, as great as he has played this season, and some of the throws he made in the first half, I mean, he was on point mostly the entire first half of this game. And so he is having the best season of his career, but we don't crown quarterbacks. We don't hang banners based on the first 11 weeks of the season. And he throws the interception, which is fine. It's only his 3rd interception of the year. Yeah, you're playing on the road. Like, it was a really bad interception, all right? Like, it was god-awful. It was ugly. I have no idea what he saw. Jonathan Vilma was like, what is he looking at? But it's okay. Interceptions happen. It's all good. Dust yourself off. He completely short-circuited after the interception. He throws a ground ball to Justin Jefferson on the 2-point conversion a short while later. He basically stopped targeting Thielen and Jefferson. They had 10 combined targets when I sent out a tweet about, hey, when they target these guys 70% of the time, they win games. 2 hours of real time went by. They'd only been targeted like 3 or 4 times because after the interception, he goes into a shell. He starts throwing the ball to C.J. Ham, to Tyler Conklin, to Alex Madison. He just goes into conservative mode. And then the Vikings have the ball. They're still somehow in this game, right? The Vikings have the ball 4th and goal. The game is on the line. The play clock is ticking down. Mm-hmm. There's somehow confusion in the huddle, which I guess we'll never know who's at fault there. But Cousins is trying to get his wide receivers to go from the right side of the line of scrimmage to the left. And he's freaking out. He's panicking. Get over here, get over here, get over here, right? There's still 9 seconds left on the play clock. And Kirk Cousins, $35 million franchise quarterback, paid to lead this team, lines up behind the right guard, Oli Udoh. I'm not sure if people picked that up in real time. The reason why they had to call a timeout on that fourth down, which, by the way, once you get to that point, if you're going to have to call a timeout, I'd rather just kick a field goal, get down by 5, keep the 2 timeouts. I mean, Kirk Cousins lines up behind Oli Udoh, the right guard, and the backup running back has to go up to him, tap him, and say, "No, dude, the center's over here." And by that point, there was 2 seconds left on the play clock. Your quarterback lined up behind a guard in the biggest moment of the game. Panicked. Everything was panicked straight out of the huddle for that play.
Right, but that's
he short-circuited in the second half.
And that's this entire team. This entire team. Go watch, and it's not a great game. Go watch the Buccaneers Colts today. Tampa Bay goes on, and this starts, of course, with Brady. They go on business trips, and do you know why? To kick your ass. And they don't care if it's by 3 points, if it's by 14 points. They go there so that if they're close at the end, they're going to come down and dagger you. It's a business trip. The Vikings are like and this is Kirk on down. It's true of Mike. They go on road trips like they're kids on a field trip who have just signed permission slips. Oh my God, what's going on with the bus? Are we stuck on the side of the, and so like that whole sequence is the Vikings in a nutshell. And that's why changes need to be made. You have to have people who go on business trips, not on, oh, we got a road trip this week. It's going to be, no, how are you I mean, that game today was not a good game from both sides. It was an ugly game, but guess what? If you get a W, you don't care at this point. That's the type of game that you win, and people like us come in and say, oh, my God, Mike Zimmer, Kirk Cousins, what went wrong? And they say, we don't really care because we won. And we're leaving with a win. And that's where the Vikings have – the Vikings, I would say it's fair to say the entire organization short circuits when they can least afford to. That's everybody. It drives me crazy.
I want to respond to this comment here. So Joseph on the YouTube comment section here. And by the way, like – the comment section is on fire right now, so keep it coming, guys. Joseph says, Mackey actually trying to pin this game on Kirk. We do this so much with Vikings games. We try to exonerate certain players. By we, I mean like the royal we, fans, media, right?
I got you.
Whose fault isn't it first, right? Well, it's not Kirk's fault. It's this fault. So let's have 2 different categories here, okay, for Joseph and your comment. Category number 1 is the biggest thing to blame for this game. And I don't want to spoil the pie chart of blame tomorrow on Purple Daily, which we will do in full. But I think giving up 6 yards per carry on the ground defensively is probably the biggest reason why they lost this game. So if you're looking for the biggest chunk of pie chart blame to go around, you can't give up 200 yards rushing. But at the same time, you know, we kind of said this all week. You're going in with 0 starting defensive linemen against a team that is really good at running the ball. They're probably going to run the ball down your throat, and you have to find a way to counter them in shootout form. We kind of said if the Vikings are going to win this game, bet the over, and first team to 35 is really the way this game had to play out. So the reason why they lost, the biggest reason, is because they couldn't stop San Francisco's run game. But zooming into Kirk for a second, despite the fact that you gave up 200 yards rushing, you were still in this game. You just needed a couple plays here and there, a 2-point conversion to a wide-open Justin Jefferson, stay aggressive after the interception, and stop throwing checkdowns to Alex Madison, C.J. Ham, and Tyler Conklin, and don't lose your mind in the key moment of the game on 4th down. Panic and line up, I'll say it for a 10th time, behind your right guard. Moment of crisis. Season on the line, game on the line. They can still come back and make the playoffs. They play the Lions next week. But, like, this is the biggest moment right now. You've clawed your way back to 500. Got to have it right now. What's your best play? And let's get everyone lined up. And you line up in a moment of panic behind your freaking right guard. Like, don't bring defending Kirk energy into this conversation, okay? Like, you can say he's not the reason why they lost. He's a huge reason why they didn't win the game, a very winnable game in which you were down by 1 score with multiple chances.
Pardon my French, but why wouldn't you crap on almost the entire team? This entire game is inexcusable. This is the type of game you have to win. Like, I don't care. Like there's Thielen, I think, played pretty well. Jefferson, but your offensive line is still a mess at times. Your quarterback is a mess. The problem with this team, from the top on down, the starting point of the problem with this team when push comes to shove and we say we might believe in you is this: they're mental midgets. Mm-hmm. It's a bunch of mental midgets.
And Kirk is the number one.
But Zimmer's
for
close.
his career.
But Mike's close too. And I saw tweets today excited about, and yes, the first half offensively, those first 2 touchdown drives were fun. But I saw tweets about this is great. They finally. Do people realize how long this took? Like, today's loss is absorbable if pardon my French again, these idiots had done what they should have done in the first half of the season, which is something that all of us were calling for them to do. They are mental midgets, and I don't understand why we're trying to pick off and choose which ones are which ones. You go to Jefferson or Thielen right now off the record and say, do you work with a bunch of mental midgets? And they're going to say, yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
I get frustrated by this whole thing of trying to assess the blame. The pie chart's the entire thing in reality.
Yeah.
It's the entire thing.
Dex, you're quick. What was your biggest takeaway here? Then we can get to some Vikings fans. Dex with the visual.
Kurt with the K. Kurt with the K. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I get it. He isn't the whole reason the Vikings lost this game. The Vikings defense on 3rd and long, for God's sakes, 3rd and long. How do you not just force the ball? Force a punt, get your defense, get that offense off the field and get it going. And they gave up a ton of big chunk plays today. And Kirk had every opportunity to win this game. We know the Niners can run for a bunch of yards. They accomplished that goal, and the Vikings still had a chance to win this game, and they couldn't do it. And their quarterback had a chance to rise up still, lead another game-winning drive, didn't have a bad call go against him, didn't have a shank field goal, didn't have a fluke injury at the end. At the end of the day, he couldn't give his team a chance to win the game when it was there for him to take. So for me, very simple. It's Kurt with the K. It's a Kirk Cousins performance today against the San Francisco 49ers.
And with that, let's turn the show over to you guys, Vikings fans. If you're watching us right now on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, please click the subscribe button and also the like button. The like button helps spread the word about the show so we can build this community even further. Judd is cracking a surly furious right now.
You people talk. I will be listening.
I love it.
Let's get the sound effect here. There it is. All right, who's first out of the gate here, and where are you from?
Little double barrel action for Cole and Mark. Where are you guys calling from? Welcome to Vent Line, guys.
Austin, Texas.
Okay.
Right on.
Yeah, this is my 3rd time calling. Last time I called, I had a bad connection, got cut off. So actually, my buddy Mark, originally a Cowboys fan. We were at the Cowboys game. So that was the first time I was let down. Yeah. That felt like the first, there were a lot of close games, obviously. That felt like a true meltdown. That felt like a true one we should have had in Dallas. This is the second one that we definitely had a shot at. A couple points I want to make really quick, and I'll let Mark add whatever he would like. One is that we got carved up on the run game by what should have been a defensive-minded head coach, right? This is Mike Zim's. This is his bread and butter, and we got carved up. They did whatever they wanted in the run, and there was nothing that we could have done, and that's embarrassing, right? He's a defensive-minded head coach. He should have seen it coming. He's supposed to be a head coach, offense and defense, and nothing that we could have done about it. Another point, actually, I appreciate y'all mentioning that I did not know, because just watching the national broadcast here from Austin, I did not know that he did not line up under center. And that's why we had to call the timeout. So thank y'all for pointing that out. That's more embarrassing. But also, one thing I want to point out too is that one of our D-backs had thrown a punch at a critical time in the game.
Yeah. Cam Dantzler. Yeah,
exactly. Cam Dantzler, on a critical time, and great. Thank God it didn't get called, but not that would change the outcome. But right, it's just a lack of discipline. What are you doing? If there's a one time that you need to be disciplined, it was at that point in the game. And again, it didn't get called, but it was just something that needs to that the Vikings still need to come down on. But those are the 2 points that I'll mention. I'll turn over to Mark. Again, original Cowboys fan. If you've seen, I don't know if you noticed, he's wearing a Vikings jersey. I converted him.
Wow.
I don't know if I did him a favor or
nice work.
or cursed him. But yeah.
Yeah, the other side of that is this might be a surprise to you guys, but watching Kirk Cousins over the past 3 years, I've actually gained more faith in him. Like there was a bit of an issue tonight, again, the center gaff, but really the only big loss from that possession was calling the timeout. When you look at it at face value, you spend a timeout, you still had the 49ers deep in their own territory, you just couldn't stop the run. Bad. The other side of that is, while I've gained more confidence in Kirk Cousins, I'm also becoming more and more sure that he's not worth the money the Vikings are paying him. I think that's the biggest issue for me from the, not quite on the outside, but as someone who's becoming more and more endeared to the team, just where are things going forward? To the point you made about Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson, saying that they're surrounded by buffoons. Like, if it's from the outside, it's this evident. I can only imagine how tough things can be in the locker room, right? Like, when they can march downfield and go across the middle, things are really easy for the Vikings, like they had for their first 2 or 3 big plays on the last possession there. Once you start forcing them to get creative and show a little chemistry, the wheels completely fall off the bus. And that's really tough to watch. A team that has all the pieces in place defensively and offensively, but when you start making guys earn their contracts, you can see that it's clearly not there.
You guys bringing some great points off the top here. That's Mark and Cole down in Austin. Thank
Cheers,
you guys
boys.
for hanging out here. Just in general, to sort of sum up their thoughts, the Vikings are 5-6. Every year it just feels like they're just grinding to 500, maybe a game above, game below. I mean, that's really been the case since 2017, ever since Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins paired up. They should be better than this record-wise. Why aren't they? It's not the refs. It's not just bad luck. It's not just a bad kicker. Like, what is it? It's partially coaching. It's partially being mental midgets in big moments of the end of the fourth quarter.
It's not identifying what your strength is before training camp starts and then not realizing it until we're like 7 games in.
Before free agency starts even.
Look, we'll certainly discuss this at some point in time this week. But Mark Craig's story in the Star Tribune today about Cousins and Mike, and it was supposed to be like a flattering look at how they're coexisting now, is a huge indictment of the lack of relationship that exists. The coach and quarterback in today's National Football League have to be on the same page. And I don't mean talk once a week. I mean be in lockstep as far as approach. And we'll talk about it. But I mean, that piece painted a picture of to use your word, Phil, because it's the perfect word, the relationship between coach and quarterback. They literally grind that out. They're grinding out a relationship that should be as strong as any in that building. That's a problem. So that's that's how you get this. The maddening thing here is none of this is hard to deduct. None of this is really like a question of, well, I mean, it's a tough conversation to have because I don't get it. No, I think we get the whole thing. And that's what drives you crazy. They don't.
Here's a quote, by the way. There's a great article this morning before the game by Mark Craig in the Star Tribune. It's a Q&A with Kirk Cousins, basically, talking about his relationship with Zimmer, talking about his ridiculous stats throughout his career and his 500 record as a quarterback and how that can be. And this quote was striking to me. He said, "I think Coach Zimmer and I have similar experiences in terms of the pressure that's on us for this organization to win. So we kind of share that bond, maybe uniquely to us over anybody else in this building in terms of the weight we carry." I agree 100% with all that. The weight of the franchise is placed on the quarterback and the coach.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Steelers, it's on Roethlisberger and Tomlin. Patriots, before Brady left, Belichick and Brady.
And now it's Mac Jones, who, by the way, he is embraced like a son.
And the last part of the quote is, "So yeah, it's good to carry that weight together now." Talking about the Thursday meetings that just started this season. And it's been confirmed by both parties that they did not meet at all for the first 3 years of Kirk Cousins being here.
Yep.
How does that happen from a coach's perspective? How does that happen from a true quarterback leader's perspective? If you're more than just an I just work here guy, first of all, I mean, I put it on Zim more than I put it on Kirk because, dude, you're the leader of the football team, not just the defense. Maybe you should forge a better relationship with the most important player on the roster. But from Kirk's perspective, why aren't you demanding to build a better relationship with your head coach. And now it's like both of them are saying, yes, we're in this together, and the weight of the guys, it's year 4. Imagine if they are benefiting from those meetings in year 4, imagine how much more they'd be benefiting in year 4 if they had started building that connection in year 1. Mm-hmm. It's too late. Now they play the Lions. They should beat the Lions next week. And I'm not saying that they're going to lose every game here. They probably still make the playoffs. But today was such a frustrating loss for so many reasons. All right, who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Chris. Chris, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line. How are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm doing good. I'm calling from Omaha, Nebraska. You guys hear me all right?
We got you, Chris.
Gotcha.
What'd you see today?
Same stuff, different day, basically, and I'm sick of it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to start off by saying I hope Cook's okay. I hope he comes back all right. I hope it's nothing too serious. I'm going to start off by asking, I don't know if I missed it, but where was KJ Osborne this whole game? I don't understand. I mean, you throw to Conklin that close to the end zone, and you have Jefferson and Thielen right there. It blows my mind. I just don't understand.
Yeah, I mean, Chris, thanks for coming on. I mean, KJ Osborne's been kind of a ghost for 2 months, right? I mean, he started off incredible, and today he only had 2 targets, 1 catch for 5 yards. I mean, he came out of the gate looking like a 750-yard receiver in the first month.
Yeah, I don't. What I also don't get is on that late pass that I think he tried to hit Conklin in the end zone on that got broken up. Thielen actually leaked out there, and Kirk never even looked there. So Thielen leaked out to what would have been Kirk's left.
Yeah,
and I don't think he was covered initially, and Kirk was just locked in. It just felt like one of those days where Kirk very much gets in the zone of I'm going to do what I do and I'm going to lock in on guys. He still got talent then. But yeah, it just makes it so much more difficult. And he makes it, the problem is the mistakes and the problems when it comes to Kirk compound themselves then, right? Because it just gets worse and worse and worse.
And he's like, he's the opposite of a calming presence. He's a teeth gritter. He's not the guy that's going to come in and be like,
he grits his teeth on camera. They show him. You're exactly right. He's like,
he's a teeth gritter, and he's right. In these moments, you want that guy to be super calm and cool. I'm not even going to say Tom Brady because he's just like it's such an unattainable bar. But I mean, my God, we all watch Red Zone, right? I'm sure everyone who's hanging out here on Vikings Vent Line right now, you probably watched Red Zone for 3 hours before that Vikings game today. Watch Joe Burrow. And I'm not talking about necessarily skill and movement and mobility and all those things. Just like when his team needs him in these moments, and Cousins has definitely risen up a couple more times this year than previously. But he doesn't give off everything's fine, guys vibes. He gives off oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like hopefully we can.
And the more that we see Kirk succeed, like he has late in games, the more it infuriates you when you see a game like today, because that gene, he's got it. He's got that, and it just goes away. And that's what's completely confusing is like, wait. A month ago, you led a really great late drive, and now you are lining up under your right guard. Like that doesn't make sense.
First quarter and a half, 10 combined targets for Thielen and Jefferson. Only 2 more targets the rest of the game for Thielen, and only 4 more targets the rest of the game for Jefferson. I think 2 of them probably on that last sort of panic drive where they're trying to get down the field with no timeouts. All right, who's next? Vikings Vent Line.
Let's go to Bo. What's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line. Where are you calling from, man?
Hey, man, how you guys doing? I'm back. I'm still out here in Shakopee, but yeah, man, I don't know, man. I'm with you guys. It's super frustrating, watching what's going on right now. I want to start off by saying, with this defense, I think that's what's the most frustrating, because we always start off pretty decent, but when are we going to get that one stop? I mean, outside of the Baltimore game, I feel as if we've never had that one big stop that we've needed to kind of get our guys off the field. And I'm with Dak, like all these third and longs, it's like this is the time where you're able to pin your ears back you know what I mean, to get after the quarterback, but still yet we're allowing these guys to get these first downs. And it's just, it's super, super frustrating. And I think that's that point that I kind of made with you guys last week with the Packers game. I should have said, you know what, where I think people are really aiming towards Zim and why they are kind of wanting him gone is just because just the inconsistency of this team. You know, we're really good here at times, and then we're really bad here at other times. I mean, he's the coach known for only making the playoffs every other year. I mean, if that doesn't scream consistency, I don't know what does. So, I mean, and not only that, it's you know, it's bad when we talk about this defense playing decent, but they're still giving up 400 or 500 yards a game. I mean, that's ridiculous. And I get the Kirk Cousins thing. I understand, you know, he obviously has to step up when he needs to step up. And when we need him, obviously we want him, you know, to do what good quarterbacks do. But at the same time, we can't expect to win every game if we're in a shootout. It feels like we're always in a shootout. You know what I mean? And it's like to the point where I saw somebody comment here and it's like, dude, we can't expect Kirk to bail us out every single game. If we want to make a push in this playoffs, if we want to make it to the Super Bowl, we're going to need this defense to step up sometime. They're going to have to play at least somewhat decent for us to go anywhere. So those are kind of my two things. I wanted to say two other things. One, I asked you guys that question last time where, if you guys were to keep Kirk, or would you guys be willing to still keep Kirk if we're getting that aggressiveness out of him, or if he's playing like he's playing right now? Me, honestly, I would, just because I don't think, in the next 2-3 years, we are going to get a quarterback like Kirk. We're going to get a quarterback that's going to give us the production that he's given us. I mean, obviously we have Mon. We haven't seen what he can do. Who else? I don't know, guys. Who else can we really get that would be able to step in and give us the production Kirk's giving us right now? And one other thing, and this is the question I wanted to leave you guys on the hopes that we won today. But say, for instance, if we were to say that, okay, if we were to know, say next 2-3 years that, say Zimmer, we know Zimmer is going to allow this offense to be who they are right now. We're going to allow him. He's going to allow us to be aggressive or what have you. And let's say we bring this. What are we ranked 28th on defense or something like that? Or like total all overall defenses were ranked 20th. Say if we know that he could bring us down to 10. Let's just say 10, top 10 in the next 2 years. Would you guys be willing to keep him as a coach, or are you guys just on board still with just, getting rid of him and that being what it is? Thanks again, guys. I appreciate it.
Bo, thank you, dude.
Awesome stuff,
Appreciate
Bo.
your Judd, go ahead. There's a lot there. Go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, if they're going to keep Kirk, Mike has to go. You can't have this. You can't have this tolerating and you got to get a coach in, because Kirk's not going to change. The only way to get maximum from Kirk every week, the only hope, is to give him a coach who literally holds his hand and tells him exactly what he wants, while also telling Kirk, you are the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's not going to be Mike. Mike's ideas about football, for the most part, are from a bygone, and by bygone, I mean like 5 years back, but they're from a different era and the game's not going there. But the most important thing is, I can't have a guy be Kirk's coach and really be a coach in this league in charge of an entire team who tolerates offense, who doesn't embrace it but tolerates it. And that's what Mike does. And everything that we give Mike credit for now, one, we don't know if he deserves that, because there's a very good chance he's just backed off and said, okay, Clint Kubiak, Janoko, offensive staff, come up with something different. I don't think for 1 second that this is Zim pulling the strings and being like, I've got offensive ideas, right? So no. But if they try and bring back Kirk and Mike, they're nuts. They're absolutely crazy. The relationship has proven itself over and over and over again. At one point with a Super Bowl ready team, which is not this team, they basically went to the store and bought the quick mix, and they had a team that was ready to put in the microwave and go to a Super Bowl, and these two couldn't coexist. So I'm done with them together.
But here's where people keep getting tripped up, because every game they play in is close. Like, what if this one thing happened different, right? And you could play that game for literally the 3 months of the season, and for the better part of Mike Zimmer's entire career here, and Kirk Cousins. Zimmer and Cousins are train wreck proof together in today's NFL and in 5 years ago's NFL. You're not going to have a 3-14 season or a 4-win season as long as Mike Zimmer is healthy and around and Kirk Cousins is healthy and around. So it's a very safe. I mean, it's bonds, dude. Like you are investing in the safest possible thing. Like it's going to be slow and steady. You're not going to go 13 wins. You're not going to win a Super Bowl, which should ultimately be the real goal.
Yes.
But you're also not going to go 3-14. And I think the ownership of this franchise is so obsessed with avoiding 3-14 that it scares them to make a move. I mean, even like, I'm reading all the comments here and I'm seeing, people that jump in here as guests on Ventline. It's like people talk about the production that Kirk gives you. Kirk Cousins has started 120 NFL games in his career. His teams are below 500 after today's loss. But the production, do you care more about one guy's production and stat line, or you care about the team winning a Super Bowl? And that's what the Vikings have to figure out. I agree with you. I think you can make a case for keeping Cousins, but putting innovative offensive people in charge of this franchise and seeing what happens. That's the unfairness to Cousins part of it. Ultimately,
Rick Spielman forced an arranged marriage that doesn't work. And that's where Rick's at fault here. He brought in he's paid very well himself to say, okay, I'm going to get a QB who works. Well, that's great. But then the question is, okay, the QB works, but does he work with this coach?
Yeah.
If you had really done your due diligence and done a poll of all the coaches when Kirk was signed here in 2018, Mike Zimmer is probably bottom 5 of guys to pair with Kirk. He's probably bottom 5.
Yeah.
He does it doesn't work. So it's just done. And that's why you can be a Zimmer stan, you could be a Kirk stan, but if you want what's best for the Vikings, what they have tried to do here proves itself time and time again. And just quickly too, the thing about the production and all of the grandiose statements that can be made, if you watch the games, you know the problems. Like we are watching the marriage dissolve over, and they go out and they're a happy couple, and we're all like, oh man, look at the happy couple. The production of the couple's great. And then we watch them day to day. They hate each other. It doesn't work. And I get all these folks saying, oh, they don't hate each other. You don't know what you're talking about.
No, they do not like each other.
They tolerate. Dude. At best, they tolerate. They sleep in separate rooms, folks.
Yes. Oh man. All right. Who's next? Vikings Vent Line presented by Surly.
Let's go to Austin. Austin, what's up, man? You are on Vikings Vent Line. Where are you calling from?
Calling from Mandan, North Dakota. Bismarck, North Dakota area.
Okay.
Nice.
I appreciate you getting me on today. I'm as diehard as a Viking fan as they come. My very first game I went to was the Cowboys and Vikings on Halloween. Pretty disappointing. Spent like $1,500 and got a hotel by downtown. Painted
but you did get to watch Cooper Rush put on a clinic in that game. So I mean, be grateful.
He had no arm strength, that guy. I mean, that's the only thing I noticed about that guy. But I'm as diehard as they come. Painted my face, went all out and everything. And just today, it's kind of the same thing. As the caller before said that. It's a shootout every time. And, I like watch exciting games. It's an emotional roller coaster for me. I take it so serious. I don't know why, but that's just the way I am. I grew up a Viking fan, became a fan probably in 96, 97, 98-ish, Chris Carter, Robert Smith era, but I got a few notes here. You don't have to comment on any of them, or just a few of them. I said, Cook's injury, will we be airing it out more? Oli Udo again. There's another hold or two for him per game. Yep. Kirk Cousins mental lapse. Game's moving too fast for him. Madison didn't get out at the end of the game. Adam Thielen and JJ played great. And the letdowns through the years. I was going to tell you guys a story. The letdowns through the years. I experienced 98. I experienced 09. I experienced 15 when Blair Walsh missed that 27-yarder, but I've also had some of the good times too, And it's been pretty awesome being a Viking fan, and I appreciate the content, guys, and I want to show you how diehard I am. Okay.
Oh boy.
This is my Minnesota Vikings Christmas tree right here.
I love it,
dude,
man.
Look
That's
at that
awesome,
thing.
man.
Wow.
That's
What are the ornaments on that thing?
I got
Cheers.
I got Kirk Cousins. I got JJ right there. Kirk Cousins was going to be up there somewhere.
Oh, looks like you got Kirk Cousins ornament lined up right behind the Oli Udo ornament there.
so
Yeah.
terrible.
Lining up behind the right guard.
Terrible.
I joked with my girlfriend. I said, "Well, if the Vikings lose today, I'm going to throw this tree out." But,
Burn it down. Burn it down right now. Light it on fire live on Vetline. Let's go. Austin, show how committed you are. Light that tree on fire.
I know, right? But yeah, we worked really hard on it. Pretty happy about it, and but yeah, guys, I just appreciate the content. I'll leave you guys with one question, I guess. And I don't know if you guys are this way, but do you guys ever pause your DVR, and like skip through the game and then go back to it, and then like if it's a bad play or a bad interception, you just like skip through it, so you don't have to go through that emotional roller coaster. That's what I do. That's what I did today, man. And
that's how my wife watches horror movies. Like, if I ever want to watch like a Halloween sequel, she's like, "All right, we can fast forward through the gory parts and turn the volume down." All right, I kind of like that idea. Austin, dude, thanks for coming on.
Appreciate it, man.
Great stuff. Love your passion. Love your tree. I think he's found a new way. If you can just like wait 10 or 15 minutes to start the Vikings game and then fast forward, and if you see something terrible happening, just speed through real quick. Just rip the Band-Aid.
Field goal attempt. No, I'm not going to watch it.
No, I don't want to. No, Blair Walsh from left. No, I don't want to watch it.
I don't want to watch
All
it.
right, who's next here? Vikings vent line.
Yeah, let's go to, is it Basti?
Yep, it's Basti. Welcome. Hey,
What's going on, man?
What's up, man? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Germany right now.
Oh, awesome.
Love it.
Heck yeah.
How'd you become a Vikings fan?
Well, it's just a few years ago, after I was watching mostly the Super Bowl for a few years, and then I became a Vikings fan, mostly because I really like watching good defensive football.
Oh, boy.
Sorry about that.
No,
Yeah.
dude. Oh,
Yeah,
no.
not anymore. You don't.
Not
Now you're a
anymore.
big fan of
That's right.
offense, hopefully.
Yeah, and it's so heart crushing. It's so heart crushing. I really love watching a great defensive football. The Vikings had it a few years ago, and that's when I became a fan. And especially the last 2 years are so demolishing. And wasn't Zim supposed to be a defensive guru?
He was at one time.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I'm a Vikings fan, and I totally agree with you. The identity of this team should be offense. We have way too much talent to play such many garbage games. We have Justin Jefferson, we have Adam Thielen, KJ Osborne is great this year, and also we have talent on the defensive side. I'm wearing a Kendricks jersey right now.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite player.
Mm-hmm.
But what's going on with that defense? I really don't understand. And another question: Oli Udo. Did anyone make a list of how many penalties he did through the season?
Well, he definitely was like second in penalties among guards
been a
coming
lot.
into last week. And by the way, cheers over to Germany. Appreciate
Thank
you
you,
coming
Basti.
on board. I'm sorry the Vikings were so good at defense when you jumped on board. Now they're just a disaster. Like, I don't know. Maybe you guys will fight me on this, but I know that the defense got gashed and they couldn't stop the run. It was like 6 yards per carry over the course of like 30-plus carries. Just ridiculous. But they're starting 4 backups on the defensive line right now. And so I didn't go into this game thinking, oh, we're going to see a brilliant defensive performance. I went in thinking they're probably going to get gashed on the ground. They're probably going to give up like 27-plus points, and they'll need to score over 30 to win.
Yep. I think that's what Keys said. I think Keys agrees completely. And in fact, we talked about that this is going to be a game where you are basically, the problem is that game played out almost exactly as we thought. High scoring, lack of defensive aptitude from the Viking side, right? And then when Gould missed the field goal, you got your shot. Like, it was a perfect, that's how it was supposed to play out. And then you come back and throw a touchdown to JJ and get the 2-point conversion, or perhaps don't throw it at JJ's feet earlier on the 2-point conversion. Like, that game, as ugly and as demoralizing as it felt at times, played out really well for you. It gave you the opportunity that you were looking for, which is the ball in your offense's hands to end the game? And the answer was, yes, it was.
This is revisionist history here, but if Kirk hits wide open Justin Jefferson on that 2-point conversion.
Yep.
And again, maybe the game plays out differently, but that's, that gets the Vikings to 28 points, so 34-28. They're driving down. They're trying to decide, should we go for it on 4th down? I could go either way on that. I think once you had to burn the second time out, I think I would have just kicked the field goal. Like, in that spot, I'd rather just take the 5-yard penalty and kick a field goal and then be down by 5. But if they were down by 6,
yep,
you could have made a case, okay, kick the field goal, be down by 3. You're moving the ball at will on this defense. So just save your 2 timeouts, kick a field goal. Now you get the ball back. And I think they were, correct me if I'm wrong, were they in, how far down the field did they get on their last drive? They crossed midfield.
They crossed midfield, yeah.
Yeah, Jefferson.
So, like, then they got into field goal range. So, like, if they just hit wide open Justin Jefferson on the 2-point conversion, it's possible that the dominoes fall differently in that second
But how
half.
about on 4th down, instead of throwing the ball at probably the altitude of 8 feet, you bring that ball down. Kirk got hit, but he got hurt. He got hit after the throw. If he makes a halfway decent throw, Jefferson catches it, it's a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing about Kirk. When the pressure got on Kirk in the second half, he sort of just fell apart. He fell apart, and he didn't have to.
Hey, Kene Nwangwu was incredible again today. Another kick return touchdown, his 2nd of the year. And then his first offensive touch, I think, of the season goes for like a 7-yard run.
I think it was his 2nd carry of the season. I think he's at 2 now. So he has as many touchdowns on kick returns in a league where it's really hard to return kicks for touchdowns as carries.
Yeah, it's time to get that guy more involved.
It's time to create. It's time to create for him too.
Yep.
He'd be a nightmare.
I mean, look at the Niners. Like, the Niners said, okay, Deebo Samuel, let's line him up in the backfield here and see what happens. I mean, just let's see how we can creatively use our.
And the Vikings are like, you cannot play. You are too young to play on offense, son. You're going to only return kicks. Seriously, it drives you crazy.
Vikings vet line continues here, Declan.
Let's go to DeMarco. DeMarco, what's up, man? You're on Vikings vent line. Where are you calling from?
I'm actually shook you guys just picked me. I'm calling from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Nice to talk to you guys tonight. I wrote some notes just like how Jed tells you to do. So I've been here, sitting here pretty prepared. But pretty much, I'm not going to waste your guys' time. Pretty much just straight up, we all know it. Our defense is bad. Defense is straight up garbage. Our 2-minute defense, there's nothing different about this all season. I just turned 21 not too long ago. I feel like I'm 31, 12 weeks into the season already.
Yeah, you should too, man.
I can see some gray coming in there.
I just do not
DeMarco.
understand this, guys.
Wait till you're 50.
I'm just trying to. I know, man. I'm.
You feel
gonna have
100.
a beard down to my freaking ankles, just full of gray. But pretty much what you guys were just saying, Kene Nwangwu. Could you imagine if we have like an Andy Reid at head coach? Why is this dude? I know we have Dalvin Cook, but like, why are we not getting this guy involved? This guy is so fast, so electric. Like, and we've only seen a glimpse of what he can do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Field goal. Sorry if I'm speaking too loud, guys. Field goal, pretty much. Field goal. I think we should have went for the field goal. We were moving the ball pretty good second half. Why not go for the field goal? I know the defense was bad, but I mean, give it a try. I know it would have been conservative. It wasn't what we were used to because Zim lately, he's been pretty aggressive, you know, but I just don't understand it, guys. Pretty much last thing that I want to talk about that I just wanted to throw out there is what you guys have been saying, do it again. And the Vikings didn't do it again. They came back to what they are typically known for, being just not good. Well, consistent, like that guy said earlier. They're just not consistent. They just cannot do it again. And pretty much that's all I got to say for you guys.
No,
just
DeMarco,
another week. Oh, sorry, guys.
Great stuff, dude. No, great stuff. Appreciate you coming on. And yeah, like we love to hang the banner after a big regular season win, right? Oh, the 20-point comeback against the Broncos. Yeah, like hang a banner. Oh, they won a playoff game against the Saints. Hang a banner. It's like all of those banners have been hung for 60 years. Those banners, we get so excited about, and we're guilty sometimes too, because it's like, we're wandering through the desert here looking for a bottle of water once in a while, and sometimes that Packers game happens. It's like, all right, it's great. But I think DeMarco speaks for a lot of Vikings fans. All right, Dex, who's next?
Let's go to Nick. Nick, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
Hey,
Where are you calling
thanks.
from?
Calling from Mason City, Iowa. Go Hawkeyes, by the way. Thank you,
Wow.
Gophers.
You know what?
You're welcome.
As much as I despise Iowa, I think we can all gather around and say, "Screw you, Bucky," together, all at once.
Is
in
it
harmony.
sad that I was kind of hoping they wouldn't make it, so I don't have to watch the Rose Bowl all over again? But anyway, I got 2 thoughts on the game, and then a question I wanted to ask you for a long time. My first thought wasn't talked about, was how many missed tackles did we have that we could have had for loss? I mean, we had guys on them almost immediately or right at the line of scrimmage, and they broke 2 or 3 tackles to get down the field. Broken tackles were key in this game. And the second thing is that near 10-minute drive to end the first half was inexcusable. All them long third down conversions, not getting the defense off the field.
Yep.
I mean, your offense was on the sideline virtually 45 minutes between that drive and halftime. I mean, unexcusable. But my real question is it fair to put 100% blame on Cousins? And here's my theory.
No.
Spielman brings Cousins in, a notorious pocket passer, guy that needs an offensive line to give him time to pass. Well, we haven't had an offensive line in 10 years. I think Steve Hutchinson was probably our best lineman to date since then. We have a front office that has a 70s style of football. Like, hey, we got to run the first 3 downs. We want to win 6-3, not 42-10. Like, we want to pound the rock, rely on the defense. So you bring Cousins in. What? Correct me if I'm wrong. 4 to 5 different offensive coordinators in his tenure so far at the Vikings. Then you bring in all this money, which I agree. He doesn't probably deserve to make that much money, but I'll take him anyway over the 7 to 8 different quarterbacks we've had in the last 5 years whirlwind behind him. So I don't think it's necessarily fair to blame all on Cousins, more on Spielman for bringing in a pocket passer and not addressing everything you need to have a pocket passing quarterback.
Yeah, Nick, you know what? Even though you are an Iowa Hawkeyes fan, you live close enough within striking distance, a couple hours away from the Twin Cities, that next time you're in, we want to make you the vent of the night, brought to us by Surly Brewing Company here, all right?
Thank you.
Here's what you're going to get. You're going to get a night for 4 people. If you can find 3 other Hawkeye friends, I don't even know.
I do have 3 other
people are.
Hawkeye fans, but 2 of them are Vikes and one's a Packers fan, so it's kind of interesting.
Okay.
So you guys can all gather around. It'll be a night for 4 at the Surly Beer Hall in Minneapolis. 2 appetizers for the table, 4 entrees of your choice, and 3 beers per person. The Surly Beer Hall is back. Over 30 beers on draft from the flagship Furious that Judd is chugging right now. To experimental and vintage beers you can only get in the beer hall, plus amazing food and also the Surly Pizza place upstairs. So there you go. That's the vent of the night. Bring in some sensible Kirk Cousins takes. Can't believe an Iowa Hawkeyes fan brought sensible takes about anything.
Well,
come
being
on.
a Hawkeyes Vikings fan, I'm used to losing out and watching championships game from the couch, so you kind of get used to it.
Big Ten West, man, we all suffered, okay?
Yeah,
we all suffered.
How many Shirleys do you go through in a game? Like a case? I've always been curious.
No, I wish. I would be fast asleep right now if I went through a case.
Hey, Nick,
right.
shoot me an email with your information, okay, on the Vikings Vent Line at gmail.com. We'll get you that Surly gift card, okay?
Well, dude, thanks for having me on, guys.
Awesome.
Appreciate you, Nick.
All right, Nick.
Great stuff.
Okay. All right. I think to just the general points about Spielman down to Cousins. I think the questions we should be asking going forward are with the GM, the coach, and the quarterback. Forget about who's at fault for what. Here's the most important question: is Rick Spielman in his job, Mike Zimmer in his job, and Kirk Cousins in his job? Are they individually good enough, and are they good enough together to lead this franchise to a Super Bowl? That's all I care about. I don't care about who is at fault for this? It's like, no, a Super Bowl is the mission of this show. We talk about it all the time. We want this team to win a Super Bowl before we die. And I think week by week, as the season continues on here into the offseason, you have to ask yourselves, if you're the Wilf family, is Rick Spielman a good enough evaluator of talent and a drafter of commodities to help you win a Super Bowl? Mike Zimmer, same thing. Kirk Cousins, same thing. And I'm very, very, very skeptical about all 3.
Well, and the flat out answer on Rick is no, because Rick panicked. Rick can't find a quarterback by himself, and so he went and got the best QB that he could off the market. But the problem is he then plopped him in the lap of a head coach who didn't want him, and so the answer is no. Like, Rick literally went and signed Kirk like Kirk was available in Rick's fantasy league. He'll put up great stats. He didn't go and sign him as a human being to put on a team. He went and
He signed him as a mercenary.
A successful statistical quarterback without any real concern. And I mean, that goes back to the day that Kirk was introduced in 2018, March of that year, when it was clear that Mike didn't give a damn. Like, I mean, we joked about it at the time. Mm-hmm. Mike was like, yeah, I got to go. Sheldon Richardson's in back. I want to go talk to Sheldon. Yeah. So yeah,
that's my guy.
Like this is not a huge shock, but I would say the answer to your question is no. And finding and identifying a quarterback now is one of the most, if not the most important thing probably in sports.
I also I look at between Zimmer and Kirk Cousins, I look at all these like coaching leadership red flags that pop up. Like today, I just started making a list of the ones today that were like, God, that's coaching leadership. You know, end of the first half, which has been a thing all year. The Vikings are, I think, by an average of like 1.5 per game. The Vikings are allowing 6 points, I think, per game in the last 2 minutes of the first half.
66 points now.
So since 2000, Arif Hassan pulled this from The Athletic.
Uh-huh.
Since 2000, so the Vikings are 6 points per game end of the first half this season, which is incredible. The next worst team was like a team from 16 years ago, and they're averaging like 4 points allowed or something.
And it's incredible.
It's unprecedented.
Yep.
And so that's situational defense. What are you unable to fix? Is there something we can do here? Like hold a team to a field goal for crying out loud instead of a touchdown.
Just hold them.
And also like if they're inevitably going to score, you got 3 timeouts. You could preserve some clock. Give your team more than 15 seconds coming back the other way.
They freaked out themselves again.
Like, how many times have you watched a Vikings game this season and said, boy, the Vikings were the better team in the first half, and they're tied, or they're only up by 3 or 7, or they're losing, right? So, like, all of the last 2 minutes of the first half, it's all coaching, leadership, clock management, situational defense, situational offense. It's a mess. Mm-hmm. The chaos before that fourth down play where Kirk lines up under the right guard to take the snap. Like, that's leadership. It's coaching. It's panicking. I think pulling back the reins offensively, both with play calling and also with Kirk just getting spooked after the interception. That's another thing. How are you supposed to win a Super Bowl with these things happening? And it's not just they all happened today and it's a fluke. These are themes that we've seen for years with Zimmer, with Cousins. Not every game necessarily, but in big games or on the road against winning teams, it happens all too often. Mm-hmm. All right, Vikings fan line.
Let's go to our guy, Kip. Kip, what's up, pal? How are you? Welcome back.
Hello. And I got the dog.
You got a pup?
Oh, nice.
You got the pup.
There's a pup.
Who's a good pup? You're the best pup.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. She's now having second thoughts. She's like Kirk. No.
Oh, no. Yep. She lined underneath the right guard for food, so she's running away now. She's like, I messed up, so I'm gonna go hide like the rest of the team. So I listen to these. And it's like, when you come home, you bring that report card home, and your dad looks at that report card, and he's going through all the subjects, and you're like, well, why'd you get an A in gym and a D in history? And you always say, but, and it give the excuses. And my dad had the saying, if Simba has them, you can't keep making excuses. And it's like every week, it's something there. And I listened to Kirk Cousins' press conference. He's a CEO. It's like, it's not my fault. It was the coverage where the offensive coordinator gave me the wrong call, or, and it's like, I'm like sports dad. I'm screaming, just tell the truth. Yeah. Be honest. Throw Mike underneath the bus. He throws you under the bus every week. Just tell the truth. I mean, it drives me up the wall because I saw Matthew Collar yesterday saying, what a weekend for Minnesota sports. And I replied, just wait for the Vikings game. They're going to break your heart. And he said, or they could win. And I say, no, something's going to happen. They've had 2 good weeks. Something is bound to happen. And it's just, and they were gifted. Carolina got blown out today. Philly got blown out. The Saints looked lost with Drew Brees commentating on Thanksgiving. I mean, they were gifted a weekend to pull ahead in the playoff race, and it's like hot potato. No, you take it. We're just going to play for Week 18. We're going to play in the hunt game. So it drives them. And I'm in Virginia, in the middle of NFC East territory. It's Black Friday every Sunday with us. It's horrible out here. No one wants to win.
Yeah. All right. We're losing Kip's reception there, but
good stuff. Though he's right.
Yeah. Okay. I loved his report card metaphor there too. So it's not like you just took one class and got a bad grade, or you just had one semester and it was a bad grade. It's like, all right, it's 4 years now of Zimmer and Cousins together. Let's put them both somehow on the same report card, and it's not an F. It's not an F. Like the Jets are an F every year. The Jets would love a coach and a quarterback combination to come in there and just like C's get degrees. That's what the Jets should be aspiring for. But if it's a C+, a B- every year, and it's been 4 years, that's just the kind of student you are, right? You're like a C+ student, a B- student. Well, it's not my fault. It's blah, 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 the math teacher. No, you're a B- student collectively, Mike Zimmer and Kirk Cousins.
The problem is, though, it's like if your school had a potential salary cap. And so like the student was eating up the budget, and it's like, but we have no other money to spend on other things. We can't buy lunches. We can't do this. We can't do that. And they're like, sorry, but that C student, he's making too much. So that's sort of the problem here.
It's fine getting C. Like, I'm a C+ student. I was a C+ student. I'm not a student anymore, thank God. I was a C+ B- student, but I know who I was. I wasn't trying to kid myself that I was trying to win a Super Bowl, for God's sakes. I just had to get in, get out, and get these C+ and be at Score North and do what I'm doing now. But it's hilarious watching them spin it around the other way, because Kirk is supposed to be this prodigal son, and at the end of the day, the body of work between him and Zim is B- work.
What would you? So Declan, what quarterback would you equate yourself to when it comes to like back in high school?
Man,
I was an A- guy in high school and college. I was like Matt Ryan. I was Matt Ryan. Like I can definitely get you some wins. Probably not if I have to go up against a Tom Brady in Knowledge Bowl or something. I'm going to lose.
I didn't have any injuries, but I mean, I'm Teddy. Like, people love me. I'm a good game manager. I'm not going to shipwreck your season. Like I have this great lovable affair with me. Like there's like, oh, he's so great. He could be a lot better at so many things, but he's not bad at these things. Yeah, I'm kind of the Teddy. I'm the Teddy.
So the students embraced you. The teachers couldn't stand you, probably.
No, the teachers were actually pretty good. I always made it a thing, because that's the difference between a C+ and B- is sometimes the relationship between the teacher and student. If you were a good kid, I was always a good kid. I just didn't apply myself to the 100th percentile that I should be doing. So,
all right, who's next? Vikings vent line.
All right, let's go to EJ. EJ, what's up, man? You're on Vikings vent line. Where are you calling from?
So how y'all doing, man? From Alabama.
Awesome. What's up, EJ?
All right. Appreciate y'all for having me.
Thank you.
I'm trying to make this quick, man. So I want to say first, Kirk Cousins. He had 3 bad passes today, man. That last 4th down to Jefferson, that was a bad pass. Jefferson was wide open. He should have delivered the throw. You know what I'm saying? You're making that much money, you got to make that throw, man. Period. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, defense again, run defense was bad, but the game was still winnable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's tough. You look at last week, they beat the Packers. You get excited. You know what I'm saying? You're motivated about the next game. Then they let you down again. I'm a true fan, man. I want him to win. Mike Zimmer seemed like a good guy, but if you can't get the job done at the end of the day, you have to go. It's too many close games. It's been too many years. You got to win these big games, man. Period.
And EJ, great stuff, man.
Exactly
Hanging out
right.
down there in Alabama. I think
Roll
that my
Tide.
guess is Alabama.
SEC
Auburn probably brought out some interesting gatherings on Saturday.
Real football country there.
Real college football. Right
None,
there, man.
none of this
How about-
BS stuff.
Did you guys see Lincoln Riley left Oklahoma for USC today?
Yep.
Damn,
I
man.
hope he's being paid a boatload. I didn't think.
I heard
had
Cliff
that much of-
Kingsbury
He is, yes.
could be potentially
LSU.
replaced.
No, dude,
He-
that's
he's
BS.
not going to leave.
Well, Oklahoma was the rumor today.
Oh, was it?
Kingsbury to Oklahoma.
Okay.
But that's all. Like, he's the head coach of the NFL team with the best record in football. He's got 1 year left in his deal. It's 100%.
Yeah, but you know what
agent.
it is? He's going to say
Well, it's a
boosters.
It's a negotiating.
Boosters are
play.
coming. Plus, I mean, he is a very good-looking guy too.
That'll help you out.
He's very
Cliff
striking.
Kingsbury is a striking human being.
He's very striking.
I'm the Kingsbury.
I still think he's going to look like Mike McCarthy if you give him enough time as an NFL head coach. Every NFL head coach comes in looking like Ryan Gosling and exits looking like Mike McCarthy.
No, they don't. He's not going to get that fat.
Dude, have you seen pictures of Zimmer from 20 years ago? I mean, six-pack abs.
Well, yeah, Kingsbury in 20 years, but I'm saying I think his hair's gone in like 6 years.
Oh, my God.
We have a Dalvin Cook update here. Ian Rappaport from NFL Network says it was a shoulder dislocation, which also knocked him, let's see here, knocked him out of the game after 100 yards from scrimmage. He'll have an MRI tomorrow to determine what damage the dislocation caused. So,
all right.
He also has a history of shoulder injuries too. A couple of years ago, he had a shoulder injury. It was kind of a pain tolerance thing too. That he was like trying to land on his back instead of his shoulder.
Didn't they say that there were actually 2 of them at the time? Like I think he hurt 2 areas, and he was like, they couldn't decide which one was worse. Yeah. That's
okay. I mean, I hate to do this right now, but don't
do it.
I'm not okay. I'll go more micro than macro here. So if let's say Dalvin Cook's out for the season, I'm not even going to go down the like the long-term conversation. Let's say he's out for the season. How comfortable would you feel if Alex Madison and Kene Nwangwu just sort of split carries the rest of the year?
I feel completely fine.
What's your option?
They're not as good as Dalvin Cook.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not as comfortable, but I also think it forces them, and this is a good thing, to get more creative. I think it forces them. I mean, there's a ton.
Well, they ran a flea flicker today. How much more creativity do you want?
But that's what I'm saying. Is you can keep
Justin Jefferson threw a pass today.
You can put exactly, but I mean, you can continue to put guys in different personnel packages. The thing with Kene is I don't want him to like just be a traditional back. He's going to line up and he's going to carry the rock. I want you to do different things with him. He's a nightmare. He's literally one of the few guys I've ever seen who, when he cuts, he doesn't slow down. Dude, like there's no, I'm going to put my foot in the ground and make a move. He just sort of goes by you.
Yeah, he's got 2 kick return touchdowns
already.
No one returns kicks for touchdowns anymore.
As the viewer said earlier on today's show, and it's 1,000% right. Can you imagine if the Chiefs got him? Like the Chiefs would be like,
maybe Rick can get a 5th round pick and a trade with the Chiefs. Maybe
love that.
No, get Mike Hughes back.
Oh wow, is he
just
playing well?
Just get us Mike Hughes back.
Is he playing well?
The last I looked, he was playing fine for him. Yeah,
classic.
And he was playing, and the Vikings thought he was going to retire on him.
All right, who's next? Oh, actually, you know what? No, go ahead. We'll go. Yeah, we'll do one more here. Well, we'll do a bunch more, but I want Judd to talk about how skinny he is too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Armando, what's up?
Hey,
man? Welcome to Vikings Vet Line. Where are you calling
What's up,
from?
Armando?
Scranton, Pennsylvania, man. Scranton,
Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania.
All right, P. I love it. I'm a big office guy.
You love it.
I'm a big office guy.
Long time listener, first time caller. I just wanted to show y'all all my Viking stuff that I'm ready to just throw away.
Are you gonna burn it all? Are you burning it?
Don't do it, man.
Look
Don't
at
do it.
Burn it all.
No. That's awesome. Don't burn it.
I don't know what to do. What should I do with it?
Cry into it. Just
You
1,000
said
tears.
Okay, if they lose to the Lions next week,
Then
will
you can
you
burn
come on our show live and burn one of those jerseys, Armando?
All right, listen. I should have never said burn. Burn is a bad analogy. My son died in a fire, so I can't.
Okay, wow.
say burn.
Oh my God.
Sounds terrible.
Yeah, that was bad. But
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. But I'm just very frustrated and upset. I got all this stuff. I spend all this money, and we get nothing but L's. Like I don't know what to do. I really don't know what to do. I just wanted to talk to you guys. First time jumping on. I just had to get on here and say something. This is just ridiculous.
We're here for you as therapists. I think we can find something. Maybe what if we what's like the jersey? Do you have a Ponder jersey in there? Like what's the jersey that you're just like the least attached to?
To be honest, my last name is Holmes, and I got this Jalen Holmes jersey.
Jalen Holmes.
Oh my God,
dude.
Yeah.
All right, I say we slice that jersey up next week if they lose to the Lions and turn it into dish rags.
Nah, I can't do that. I can't do that. But
it's his name.
I don't know, man. I just wanted to jump on here and say hi to you guys, man. I love listening to you. I listen to you every day before I go to work.
You're awesome.
You guys get me through my mornings and my nights.
Awesome, dude. Armando, we love you, man. Thanks for coming on. Don't make it your last time. All right. That's awesome. Love me some Armando.
That went to a place I didn't.
I'm sorry. I feel terrible. I feel so bad.
Yeah. No. I mean,
I'm a pretty morbid guy. That was
me too. But I
that
mean,
was
I
next
just
level.
Yeah.
Well,
okay.
we're here for you, Armando. All right.
Thanks for calling in, though. You're
The Vikings hopefully will be a little bit more uplifting over the next month. We'll see. Judd, speaking of uplifting, I mean, you're down like 30 pounds.
I am down.
And it's holiday season, too.
Exactly right. I'm down officially 26 pounds thanks to my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. And now I can not only pass on the plan to you, but also with major Black Friday savings. In fact, right now, if you contact them, 50% off the program. That's exactly right. I said it, 50% off the program. Your first visit is free, 855-GO-LIVEA, or visit livia.com, livia.com, 855-GO-LIVEA. Join me in what's not just a weight loss program, but a weight loss lifestyle. And here's the best part. Once the weight's gone, they're going to help me keep the weight off, and they can help you too. Don't wait till Jan 1. Do it now. Livia.com is the place to go.
What they can't do is take the weight off the shoulders of Kirk Cousins and Mike Zimmer and Rick Spielman, unfortunately.
No, they've got no
They
chance
can't do
to.
that.
It's too heavy.
That's too much
out.
to ask, okay?
Yeah, they got
They're
chilled
not
out.
miracle
Can't be
workers,
doing-
Phil.
Can't be doing that.
All right, let's keep it rolling here. Vikings Vent Line presented by Surly Brewing Company.
Let's go to Will. Will, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line. Where are you calling
how you
from?
doing? Calling from Eden Prairie. I just want to say, hey, Judd, awesome. Keeping all those pounds off. It looks. I saw you yesterday after the Gophers game. It looks like Livia's treating you really well. So, congrats to you, man.
Thank
you. Judd turned sideways, and everyone's like, "Where did he go? Oh my gosh,
Exactly,
it's crazy."
exactly. And I've been watching the show for a couple months now, and I've just been noticing the difference. It's just awesome. But the one thing I want to say is I'm going to actually take Dex, who actually needs to be fired, is actually the training staff. Let's be really honest here. I mean, just coming out. I'm a personal trainer. I've worked in the profession for years at this point. Looking at some of these injuries and some of the players that aren't how they're getting injured, it kind of makes me go, huh, this is a little odd. So, like, we'll take Mike Hughes, for example. All of a sudden, Mike Hughes is doing just fine. He goes to Kansas City, injury-free. He's doing just fine. And why was he all bad when he was here? Like, what? I just don't find that as a coincidence. I really think that the training staff is royally messing up. I mean, especially if these players are getting these types of injuries. I mean, an elbow, that's a conditioning issue. A lot of these are conditioning issues. So I think they really need to start taking a look at how are they treating these players? How are they treating their bodies? Because I know these guys. I've been around these guys. I actually know the guy that trained Everson Griffin in the offseason. Like, I know what he does. I know what these professional trainers are doing with these guys. And it does not look good from the Vikings standpoint. So if you're going to fire anybody, fire the staff. But yeah, it did not look good today. It did not look good. I mean, one thing I will say is at this point, throw in the rookies, throw in Patrick Jones. I mean, get these kids in there. I want to see what they're doing. But I'm gonna leave you guys to it. Thank you so much. But let me know what you think about throwing the rookies in there and seeing what they can do.
Awesome, man. All right, Will, good stuff there. I love Will coming in a couple days early with the "You're Fired" segment.
Fired their actually, I think that's the weight coach has been changed like 4 times. The trainers haven't.
Eric Sugarman has been the head trainer for several
since
coaches.
Childress
at this
got
point.
here. Yeah, 2006.
That's a realm that's so far and beyond. Like
Yeah,
I
can't.
couldn't tell you
I
like
don't
soft
know.
tissue injuries or
Yep.
whatever. Like I don't even know how to even speak on that. Other than like they have a lot of dudes banged up.
And I think
they
that's
have a
more
lot
the-
of guys who've been out for the season the last 2 or 3 years.
And I think that's more assigned to the weight staff than it is the actual athletic trainers. I think those guys are responsible for trying to get you healthy. It's the weight staff that is responsible for trying to make sure that you don't get hurt, I think.
Yeah, it's also a violent game, and there's going to be things like dislocated shoulders for Dalvin Cook today, and
I like to call for jobs, but
the
I can't call for those jobs.
Yeah, on the rookies front, I mean the one that I think we'd all like to see more of at this point is Nwangwu. I mean he's just been absurdly explosive as a kick returner. He gained 7 yards on a run today. Patrick Jones, he's been sprinkling in some snaps along the defensive line.
He played today.
Yeah,
He
out of
played
necessity.
today because they have no one else left to play.
And they've been playing Darrisaw. I think the other one that people would like to see is Wyatt Davis. I mean, at what point
is he still on the team?
Throw him in there at right guard and see what happens? I don't know.
Is he still here?
He's been deactivated pretty much all year, right?
Today.
That's the weirdest thing. Yes, I don't get it.
Yeah, I think drafting him in the 3rd round, and by the way, he was like a 1st-round grade on multiple big boards too. He fell to the 3rd round.
Yeah.
And I think if you would have said, yeah, he's mostly going to be inactive all the way through like into December at this point, it would be a colossal disappointment if you went back, 6 months. So, all right, who do we got next here, Declan?
All right, let's go to Vikes fan 47. Vikes fan 47, what's up, man? You're on Vikings fan line. Where are you calling from?
Hey, thanks for having me on. I'm a huge fan. An old coach of mine, Dale Lennon at North Dakota, he once told me that common sense is uncommon. You all have common sense. We need more Vikings fans like you. Outstanding work. You do a service to us. It's like therapy every week, as you've mentioned. I've got three points. All right. One, I knew check down Kirk was back. The 10 minutes left in the second quarter, we're up 14-7. And we do a play, 1st down for loss, 2nd down, check down, 3rd down, screen to a running back, going nowhere. I said, oh no, break out the incense. We're in trouble. My wife busted out the incense. I thought maybe we're going to get it. We got a couple calls. No, sir. Check down Kirk was still there. Do y'all see that play where he threw it to swing to Dalvin Cook, and it was over his head, and Cook was going to get lit up? That was a trip left. Kirk didn't even let the play develop. There was no pressure. He looks to his right, throws it down. What are you throwing to me for? I'm going to get my –
Dude, that legitimately should have been a pick 6. That could have easily been a pick 6. That was bad.
Right. And last point, today, I think what happened is we went into today's game as a coaching staff and said, they're going to focus on Jefferson, so let's use him as a decoy. We had him going motion, and twice we ran the ball. I think it was negative yardage both times. The reason why the last 2 weeks worked was he was the focus, and now you can use him as a decoy. But when you establish that you're not really trying to push the ball to Jefferson, and you're throwing to these others in the 2nd and 3rd quarter, you're not fooling anybody. They had our number the rest of the game.
Yep. Honestly, like Vikes fan 47, this is
awesome
great stuff,
Thank
dude.
you.
Thanks for coming on, and thanks for the kind words. Definitely get him on again sometime. Just to boost our egos.
Didn't you guys think, to his point, that I thought the first half was the Niners were going to cover probably double Jefferson. So Kirk found Thielen, and I'm like, okay, that's awesome, because I don't really care which one gets the ball. The key is the passing game was clicking. I thought in the second half, San Fran would adjust a bit to account for Thielen, and that might make Jefferson be in potential one-on-one matchups, or Osborne. And that's what I don't get. Like the progression, again, the progression of this game made total sense, and it wasn't pretty, but I don't care about that either. And I thought to myself, okay, the second half, Jefferson is probably going to not be double covered as much. And so that's going to open up opportunities to throw potentially dangerous passes, but that's fine. Like what happened there? We didn't see that part of the game. And I'm very confused, because I thought the Vikings baited San Francisco pretty well in the first 2 quarters, did a good job, basically created a pattern that was going to play out in the final 2 quarters. And yet we didn't see that part ever come close to playing out.
It's because Kirk Cousins got spooked when he threw an interception.
Yeah, you're probably right.
He short-circuited.
He
has done so well to avoid the crippling mistakes this year, right? He's
and
only
2 coming in, you're right.
Yep. And so but in a game like this, stuff's gonna happen. Like, you're playing on the road, it's San Francisco, you're probably gonna throw a pick. It's okay, dude.
But we
don't
talked
go
about
into
this.
a shell.
But we discussed this. Where is the I just work here guy mentality for the mechanics to come in and get in Kirk's head and say, we need you to continue doing what you're doing? Like, don't worry about it. You threw a pick.
Well, we don't know what the mechanics were telling him. It's possible that everyone involved said, oh my God, that's interception.
You're correct.
Let's go
but I mean,
back
that's
into
what
a
I
shell.
needed. We talked about this last week. We said the Kirk is going to throw at some point soon, because it's just going to happen. He's going to throw a really bad pick. It happens because you're passing more. And then the Vikings need to tell Kirk, don't worry about it.
Yes.
Like, we didn't get that.
How do you know when your franchise quarterback is a teeth clencher, when he goes into a shell after throwing an interception, and when he lines up behind the right guard in a panicked moment on 4th and goal from like the 3-yard line? Guys, he lined up behind the right guard in a moment of panic with the game on the line. What else do you need to see? And I get that it doesn't mean that he's garbage all the time. I'm just saying, like, I know. God, that could have been a divisional round playoff game or something.
What if Zim had just come out there, called time, come out there and hugged him and said, "It's not your fault.
It's going to
be okay. It's not your fault.
Hey, it's not your
It's
fault.
not your fault. Don't you do this to me, Mike." Full goodwill hunting on Kirk. Don't you do this to me, Mike?
Since this is a therapy session, I'm just reading some of the post-game quotes here on Twitter. And, he was asked about the interception, and he said, yeah, it was just a bad read. I just made a bad read. But then when he was asked about, what went wrong in the second half, he lists a lot of things, starting with the turnovers.
Oh,
he never fully owns it, right? It's always, the turnovers. You mean the devastating complete space-brained interception that you threw deep in your own territory? Like, dude, own it. Own it. All right, who's next?
Let's go to Josh from Chippewa. Josh, what's up, man?
Hey, Josh.
Are we Josh,
can't hear you.
Can you hear me? There we go.
There we go.
Yep, I think so.
All right, we got some audio issues.
Some audio issues there. You just got to unmute yourself there, Josh, on the platform, and then
we'll come back to Josh.
We'll go back to him. Oh, let's go to Gator Viking. Gator Viking, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Bet Line.
Hey guys, I'm enjoying a nice night here in Florida.
That looks nice.
Crazy game. Typical Vikings from a macro view. Striving to always get back to 500, but can never get to excellence. From a macro view of the team. Going into this game, it was pretty easy. 49ers needed to stop Justin Jefferson. Vikings had to stop the 49ers run.
Yeah.
49ers
who did a better job of that?
Right? The 49ers rushed today for the most yards they've rushed for in a game all season.
Yep.
So congrats, Mike Zimmer. Great game plan. Didn't work. Couldn't stop the run. And, then when we get to everything else that happened, just they got to keep throwing the ball. And for a team, even if you take Zimmer's, I want to run the ball. The reason you pay a good running back is on 3rd and 1, you should be able to get a yard. It's a yard. I've never seen a team that pays a running back the way the Vikings do. And on every 3rd and 1, we go 5 wide and empty the backfield. That's when you get to 3rd and 1, that's supposed to be an easy yard.
That's 2nd and 16. That's the rundown.
This team's philosophy is so backwards. I've never seen a coach team that says one thing and does another. It's mind-boggling. Look, guys, it's a defensive team with a defensive coach with now for 2 consecutive years a bad defense. The defensive shine of Zimmer is gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad to see because it was impressive for many years. I don't know how he lost it. He lost it. This is now a team where all the talent's on the offense, and we need an offensive coach. I'm sorry.
It's great stuff, man. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
100% right.
Enjoy the night in Florida. Looks like a nice weather night. Or maybe you're inside. I can't
Got a
tell.
new coach
Oh,
now,
no,
too.
we're out here around the fire, man. Look at this.
Oh,
that.
dude.
Oh,
look at
that's
that.
nice.
Yeah.
That's nice. You
Oh,
got a new
that
football
is just
coach down there. Everything's
Vikings,
coming up.
Florida.
Roses for Gator Vike.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a chilly 50 degrees down
Oh,
here.
Oh, I'm so
Goodness.
sorry.
Oh,
Get the hot cocoa out.
Be careful.
Yeah.
Don't get frostbite tonight.
Yeah, I'm
all right?
worried about
Just
you,
be
Gator
careful.
Vike.
my God. My uncle, I have family in Florida, and I'll never forget my uncle starting in the car to get his granddaughter in because it was 58 degrees outside
Oh, they
on
get
Christmas Day.
The blood
in Florida.
thins, Dex. The blood thins.
Oh, boy.
Same in Florida, Arizona. The blood gets thin out there.
I'm just looking up real quick here, just for fun. Football
Yeah.
Outsiders has a stat called power success. And so what that means, power success.
Power.
Football. So it's percentage of runs on 3rd or 4th down with 2 or fewer yards to go that achieved a first down or a touchdown.
Okay.
And it also includes runs on 1st and goal or 2nd and goal from the 2-yard line or closer. So basically like when you're going to line them up and smash them in the mouth, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the Vikings, they're basically right in the middle of the pack. They succeed 59%. Let's see here. Right around like 60% of the time.
Okay.
On those types of plays. The Titans are at 80%. Washington's at 80%. When they line up, they're going to move you. Green Bay, Baltimore, Tampa, all just under 80%. San Francisco you'd think they would be great at this with how they ran over the Vikings. They're actually worse than the Vikings when it comes to smash mouth. So maybe the Vikings are conscious of that like, all right, it would be nice if we could just like move the ball that 1 yard, but 4 out of 10 times they don't, according to this statistic.
The one place that I would slightly disagree with what Gator Vike said is this one too. I don't think San Francisco stopped Jefferson. I think the Vikings did.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he got stopped. I think I mean, bad throws, lack of opportunities.
You can't stop him.
Yeah. Well, and again, you know what? You throw a ball up for him, and what happens? Somebody grabs him, and you get the PI. So I don't think he got stopped. I think that they didn't have the correct game plan, which, again, it shocks me because I thought the first half was basically an attempt to set up a significant second half for Jefferson because of how San Francisco was going to have to play Thielen, and we sort of never saw that. So,
yeah, should we try Josh again?
Yeah,
in Chippewa.
Let's try Josh one time. Josh, you got us this time.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent. My main frustration. I'm calling Chippewa Falls, obviously. My main frustration was with Zimmer. I don't understand. The defense is regressing. It's obvious. My mind goes back to it was like a press conference early in the year. Courtney Cronin asked the most just softball question, and Mike snapped and was like, well, I shouldn't have to tell you this at a press conference. I shouldn't have to tell you this, Courtney Cronin, at a press conference. And it's like, well, one of the guys screwed up. He did something wrong. Well, Mike, your job is to coach him up. Right. That's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. Not just, well, we're not going to do anything at the end of the half anymore because somebody screwed up. He is abdicating a good portion of his role, his job. He's not a head coach. He's a defensive coach. And when people screw up, we just won't do that anymore. It doesn't make any sense. I'm just, and my frustration is with him, and I'm ready to move on from him. I hope we do.
Yeah.
Josh, I think you echo the same frustration a lot of fans have, man. Thanks for coming on.
And to his point, the problem is this. Your coach and QB both do the same thing. It's both the royal, somebody else screwed up or we all screwed up. It's like, well, how about you take responsibility? Kirk, I threw a terrible pick, but Dalvin fumbled too. And I mean, a lot of guys, it's not just on my fault. And Mike is always like that with and Mike's biggest thing is, and I think it's putting it perfectly, he tolerates offense.
Mm-hmm.
His life's work is stopping offense, not embracing it. And he tolerates it. But unfortunately, he now coaches in a league where offense is the most important thing. And it's something the league is dying for you to be good at. Like, this league is bending over backwards to make offensive teams successful. So
the Kirk defenders are out in full force. So I posted the video clip on my Twitter account at Phil Mackey of, hey, biggest moment of the game, playoffs in the balance.
What's the excuse?
Need a touchdown on 4th and goal, and Kirk Cousins panics and lines up under the right guard. And you should see the Niners defenders were like, "Oh, is this a trick play?" They're like, "Well, it's happening." No, dude, it's not a trick play. The quarterback just freaked out.
Madison literally tries to grab Kirk by the hips, and like dance with him over to the center.
I know. So I just a couple responses here. It's this is from Glenn, Kirk defender Glenn. It's not the biggest moment of the game. There's still 9 minutes left. 2, playoffs are not in the balance. We're still in them, and this had little to no impact on the game. Like, why are you defending this? How do you watch that sequence and think I need to defend the honor of Kirk Cousins here?
I told you before,
he
man.
Freaked out.
I blame
after an hour of him checking down out of fear of throwing another interception and missing a wide-open Justin Jefferson on a 2-point conversion. He lines up in a panic under the right guard, and they have to burn a timeout. The backup running back has to walk up and, guide him with his hips over to the center. as the defense was laughing at the Vikings. And you're defending it. Why are you defending it? He deserves to be crushed for this.
You put your quarterback in, you put your quarterback out, you put your quarterback in, and you shake him all about. You get him under center, and you snap the damn ball. That's what it's all about. Dude, it's our fault. This is the media. We have.
Why are you defending it, dude?
Because we have raised people. Because
joke.
you're a bad fan if you make fun of that. That's what we've done. Like, we are trying to undo years of misrepresentation of what sports should be about in this town.
Here's another one. This is from a noted Vikings blogger, Jared Barsness. Read the comments. Phil and his fans thrive on the failure of the Vikings. They don't actually want them to win. Hey, dumbass. We literally start every show by telling our great audience and community here on Vikings Vent Line and Purple Daily. I would argue that we have the smartest community of Vikings fans of anyone that's putting out content. You guys are awesome. And to say that a show that literally starts every single show with, we want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Do we thrive off the failure of the Vikings? Listen, like, I don't know. We're here as a group of therapists for Vikings fans. So, yes, we do thrive when the Vikings fail because we're here as a community to complain about the things that deserve to be ripped. So, yeah, I guess we're proud of that. We'd rather see them win a Super Bowl, but here we are as therapists.
Why do you got to pick on Kirk? You're not a good fan, Phil. You're going to lose your fan card.
When are you going to admit you were wrong, Dex, about the Vikings and Rams winning today? On Wednesday, I will be held accountable.
Oh,
for
God,
it,
that's right.
What I predicted.
Yeah,
boy, little parlay. So, yeah, darn me, always sabotaging my favorite teams.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah, we do. We got one more. People? Yeah, we got one more to wrap here. Let's go to Jerry. Jerry, what's up, man? You're on Vikings Vent Line.
Hey guys, thanks for having me.
Of course, man.
I really appreciate it. I tell you what, I watch you guys every week, win or lose, and it's just like a breath of fresh air. You guys, you echo what I feel, and it's just very it's very refreshing. But
thank you.
Here's my take on things just as we sit right now, and I tell you what, I mean, Kirk is a good quarterback, but you know what? He's not going to lead us there. And I just look at the people that are able to elevate the play of people around him, and he doesn't do that. No, nor do a lot of other players, though, that for whatever reason are very, very important to this team. It doesn't matter if it's Anthony Barr or Harrison Smith or whatever. The great teams out there that win Super Bowls, they have Ray Lewis, they have Tom Brady, they have, again, I would just say the list is endless, but people rally around those people, and they play better than you'd expect them to. And Kirk is a good quarterback. I sit back and I'm like, thank goodness we have a quarterback that can play football. I lived through the Ponder years. I did. I mean, I loved Randall Cunningham. He had that long jack, and he threw that ball just as far as anybody else in the league could throw it. But Randy Moss was on that team, and he is the only person in the league that could go get that ball. So you made Randall Cunningham look the way that he looked that year, or Brad Johnson, or whoever else was throwing him the ball. So I guess I sit back, and every week I'm in the same boat that you guys are. I'm 44 years old. I've been following the Vikings since Herschel Walker kicked off his shoe and ran for, thinking that was going to be the coolest thing to happen, only to have it flop. And I just want my Vikings to be good one time. That's just it. 98, I thought that was it. welcome, we're going to Miami, the song.
Bendidos,
I was saying that, like
a lot of people were
in the car. We were going to Miami and Atlanta. I mean, I was on my knees. Just like my heart breaking for that team. There were so many Hall of Famers and everything. This town, this team, it deserves it. It doesn't just. We don't just need to figure it out. This team deserves a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I watch you guys with the Timberwolves. I watch you guys with the other sports, and I'll back off with this, but we I don't know. I was there for the Viking, or excuse me, the 91 Twins, the 87. I believe it was the 87 Twins. I was a little kid at the time, but that was so special. The Vikings fans, they deserve it. They need a real definitive leader, somebody that is the face for the franchise, and I think until we have that, I don't know that we're gonna get there, no matter who it is or how.
I'm gonna give Jerry the round of applause here.
Hang in there, Jerry.
That was an incredible call, dude.
Yep, hang in there.
And we got your back. We're here for you. You can always lay down on our therapeutic couch, I guess. Let's see. Looks like we have one more here, Declan. Let's do one more.
One more popped in. Aaron, what's up, man? Welcome to Vikings Vent Line. How are you? Where are you calling from?
Howdy.
I'm calling from Texas, man.
Okay.
Love the hat. That's awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. Does Kirk Cousins check down on the Minneapolis Miracle?
Almost certainly. Yeah. Almost certainly.
Well, I love that really question, because you know what else? He would have never looked like he would have looked for Diggs, and if he didn't see him immediately, he would have bailed on Diggs. Right. Like that would have never been the ultimate read for Kirk, right?
Dude, people want to die on a hill for this guy
because they're spending so much money on him, and they have to, because they desperately want to believe, and they're being told by certain members who do the same job that we do that they're bad fans if they don't believe. But that's I love that question, because Case Keenum, I mean, one of the good and bad things about Case was you always got the feeling that not professionally, but like as far as thought process, he didn't give a crap like what Mike thought. Like Mike would be like, you should have thrown that pass, and Case would be like, well, too bad I did. So that's that's actually a really fun question. And my guess is he never looks to Diggs, or he looks to him and bails on him.
Yeah. Sorry, Aaron, I think you probably have more to say than just that awesome question. So go ahead, continue.
I do. That's great. I love it.
No, it's, much like the other callers tonight, it's just frustrating. And I'm with you guys on that. Like it's all right to expect more out of your franchise. I mean, is Cousins a good quarterback? Absolutely. Is he capable of stringing together 5-6 games where he's a very good quarterback? Absolutely. But is he going to line up behind the right guard, at the worst possible time? At least Favre against the Saints, he's getting absolutely destroyed and still out there trying to make a play happen. I'll take that over, I don't know, milquetoast, like tuna casserole. I mean, Kurt's a great hot dish, man, but he's not going to get any Michelin stars or any of that kind of stuff.
Exactly right.
Aaron, great stuff from down there in Texas. Appreciate it. Definitely come on again sometime.
Yeah.
All right. Man.
Wow.
Just listen, it doesn't end their season. The playoffs are still within reach.
They're still in.
They play the Lions next week. Yeah,
right.
They just
now.
basically switch spots with the
They're the
Niners,
7th
right?
seed right now. They'd be in the playoffs today.
Yeah.
I saw a note, if they would have won, it would have been an 83% lock to be in the playoffs. If now that they're lost, it's still a coin flip.
You saw that note on Purple Props on Saturday here on Purple Daily.
That's right.
You saw that.
That's right. So now it's still a coin flip mathematically, but they control their destiny. There's no excuse for them still not to make it.
But you know what? Again, I'm going to go back to the positive thing. I will end my appearance on this show, sponsored by my friends, of course, at Surly Brewing, with this positive. We have still seen we have still seen the makings of some offensive weapons that with the right coaching staff can be damn good. Jefferson's here to stay. Well,
Yeah,
like Mike's
yeah.
not going to drag him down and where he gets digs like. They're going to eventually pay him, and he's staying here. So like you do have the makings of some of the personnel right now that can be very special and can get you to that next step with the right people guiding them. And that might not be Kirk, that might not be Mike, that might not be Rick, but you still have some really nice building blocks, and that's the positive.
Yeah, there's a lot here. There's I mean, hell, they just added another explosive offensive piece that returns kicks for touchdowns and probably sees some more offensive snaps now that Dalvin Cook is going to be out for some period. I mean, he's got to dislocate. My guess is he's probably out for the year. Dislocated shoulder in that much pain.
About to December.
Yeah.
Probably right.
So we'll see. But we appreciate this group that watches and listens to Purple Daily on a regular basis and Vikings Vent Line. You guys are badass. You guys are doing the football gods' work out there, fighting against the people that accept mediocrity for this franchise.
You're superheroes.
Okay? We will not tolerate it anymore. We do not care about sneaking into the playoffs. We do not care about beating the Lions by 20 points at home. Those are good things. You can celebrate those things, but we want Super Bowls.
Do we care
damn
about
it.
being friends with players and coaches?
No.
No.
Do we care about being friends with the Wilfs?
No, sir.
No.
I feel
No,
like
we
there's
do
being-
not.
Yeah.
Do we care about free stuff that
How
we might
specific
get
are you
from
going
the
to get with
team?
this question?
He's just gonna keep going down.
Are we ever going to own a racehorse with the head coach? Is that the next question? you're
No,
gonna
I'm
ask?
not. No. I never
Are you
said
ever
that.
gonna have a glass of
I didn't
cab
say that. I
with the
didn't say
coach?
that. No, I'm talking about more than one person here. I'm talking about
I know.
any of the permeations that might exist in this town that don't allow people to be objective as we are.
You know what? I think maybe tomorrow on Matt. I know we usually do statements centered around the Vikings, and I'm sure we'll do that. But I'd rather just do a full Timberwolves show tomorrow and celebrate a real winning team.
Whoa,
okay?
whoa.
A
How about the
clutch
Axe?
winning team.
You got the Axe back in this town.
That's right.
Did the hockey team just win 7-1 on Saturday and beat the Stanley Cup champions today?
They did.
I
This
think
was.
I did see that.
Yeah, this was a great weekend overall for Minnesota sports, if not
Yeah.
for the Vikings stumbling in at the end and buzz killing everything.
Hey, the Axe is back, baby.
You're damn right.
Roll the
That's
damn
2
boat.
axes in the last 3
2018?
3 seasons.
2018 in
Row the
Madison.
damn boat,
and
baby.
All right.
Row it.
The first Axe here won here since 2003. The year of the Michigan loss, they won the Axe. They haven't won it since in Minneapolis.
Let's get it. All right. Also, a shout out to Federated, too, before we go. Federated Insurance, helping with risk management. They must have had a hand on the second half offense for the Vikings today.
Wow.
They can definitely have a guiding hand on your business when it comes to risk management and protecting employees, protecting your bottom line. Federated's been around for over 100 years, based in Owatonna, Minnesota. They are one of us. And you can find out more about the great things that they do at federatedinsurance.com. Remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours. All right, dudes. Good stuff today. Good therapy session.
See y'all tomorrow.
We'll see you tomorrow for the pie chart of blame on Purple Daily and for statements on Mackie and Judd. Thanks for hanging out with us. This is the most fan-friendly and interactive show in Minnesota sports, Vikings Vent Line on Purple Daily.